In this video, we are going to learn about dividing fractions. So if I have a simple equation here, like 1/2 divided by 3/4. Well, in order to divide by fractions, what we need to know is that dividing fractions is the same as multiplying by the reciprocal. And now you might be asking, well, what the heck is a reciprocal? A reciprocal is when you flip a fraction upside down. So what do we mean by that? If we have a fraction here, like let's say 2/3, well, I'm just going to put the numerator, I'm just going to flip the numerator and the denominator. So the denominator will go in the numerator spot, the numerator will go in the denominator spot, and then my new fraction, the reciprocal of 2/3 is 3/2, or 3/2. If I were to do the reciprocal of 4/3, well, that would be 3/4. And then one more, if I do the reciprocal of 5. What is the reciprocal of 5? Well, remember that any number, any whole number, really can also be represented as a fraction, just that number over 1. So 5 is the same thing as 5/1. So the reciprocal of 5 is 1/5. The reciprocal of 5 is 1/5. So that's what a reciprocal is. So now that we know a little bit of terminology and we understand what a reciprocal is, let's go back up to our dividing fractions problem. Because again, dividing fractions is the same as multiplying one side by the reciprocal. So we can rewrite this entire equation right here as, instead of 1/2 divided by 3/4, we're going to say 1/2 times 4/3. Because if we notice here, we took this fraction, made a reciprocal, and now made this entire equation a multiplication instead of division. So now, if we remember from our multiplication video on multiplying fractions, in order to multiply fractions, all we need to do is multiply the numerator and multiply the denominator. So 1/2 times 4/3. Well, first we're going to do the numerator, so 1 times 4, that's going to give us 4. And then we'll do the denominators, 2 times 3. That is going to give us 6. Let's move over to the side a little bit here. And hopefully we should see that we could actually simplify this a little bit, because 2 could go into both the numerator and the denominator. So it's divided by 2 on the top and bottom, and that will give us 2/3. All right, so our original equation of 1/2 divided by 3/4 is the same thing as 1/2 times 4/3, which would give us 4/6, which simplifies down to 2/3. All right, let's go ahead and go through another example here. Let's do this one a little bit quicker. Let's say we have, we'll do 1/3 divided by 4/5. All right, 1/3 divided by 4/5. Again, all we need to do for a division problem is change it into a multiplication problem using the reciprocal. So I will say instead 1/3 times the reciprocal of 4/5 is going to be 5/4. All right, so this is 1/3 times 5/4 now. And again, I'll just multiply the numerators. So 1 times 5 equals 5. 3 times 4, that's going to give us 12. And since 5 is a prime number, this fraction here is already in its simplified form. So our original equation of 1/3 divided by 4/5 gives us 5/12. All right, let's go ahead and go through one more here just for good luck. And let's say we have 7/9, divided by, let me write that a little bit better here. All right, we're going to say 7/9 divided by, let's say 3/4. All right, 7/9 divided by 3/4. We can just rewrite this again as 7/9. Go a little bit down here. All right, we'll say 7/9 times 4/3 instead. And what that's going to be is 28 up on top, and that'll give us 27 down on bottom. And that should be in its simplified form, right? Yeah, that's already in the simplified form, because the factors of 27 are only 1, 3, 9, and 27, and that shares no factors with 28. So our answer here of 7/9 divided by 3/4 will equal 28/27. Or, since this is an improper fraction, we could also rewrite this as 1 and 1/27. Either one of these answers would be perfectly acceptable. And that's how you divide fractions. It is as easy as multiplying one side by the reciprocal.